Well, well, my friends, what have we got here? It looks like Air Force Two. Sam 909, Air Force Two. Let's take the registration of this airplane and see if he is in Flight Radar 2401-0015. Now remember, this could be Air Force One. It depends on if the president is in it or not. So this aircraft I know is typically used as Air Force Two. However, the president has been known to fly in Air Force Two, and then it is called Air Force One. You get it? It doesn't matter which aircraft it is. Wherever the president is, that's Air Force One. And notice the call sign is not AF1, it's SAM 909. The call sign can change. That's the problem with tracking Air Force One and Air Force Two. That's why we use the aircraft registration instead. Now, let's go check and see if this aircraft is also in Flight Radar 24. And by the way, if you go to Washington and just hang out in Washington on these maps and look at this Joint Base Andrews, that is the base of Air Force One and Air Force Two. So hang out there and then you will discover all of the planes. But I put the aircraft registrations in the description for you so that you can just copy and paste them in Flight Radar 24. So let's go there. So you go down here to filters in Flight Radar 24. You go by aircraft registration, put that in there, 010015, set a filter. Boom, there he is. He is. Sometimes they're not here. Sometimes Flight Radar 24 and the ADB, SB, 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 ADB exchange are different. So I find the pictures and this website in general better. However, you see in ADSB exchange, it's much easier to track military aircraft. You just hit this U right here in order to see all the military aircraft. Boom, right? Oh, that's all aircraft. And now filter for military, boom, okay? So tracking military aircraft is much easier in the ADSB exchange. Hang out in Washington here, hit the U button, and then you will see probably Air Force One quite easily. Here it is again. And here we are again. This is typically Air Force Two. However, if the president is in it, it is Air Force One. So in jet photos, I'm going to click on 0015 full info. And you will see that this aircraft is a Boeing C-40. That's the military designation for the Boeing, what is it, 737, something like that? Of course, why simple when you can have it complicated? Now, I want you to make a guess now. Is this Air Force One or Air Force Two? Because this jet is typically used for one of those persons. It kind of belongs to one of them. So make a guess now. Is this Air Force One and Air Force Two? And I'm going to show you in the next tab up there right now. So, boom, it's Air Force Two. As you can see, the Boeing C-40 Clipper is an Air Force Two aircraft. Remember, if the president's in it, it's automatically Air Force One. And here we go to Air Force One right here. And you can see, however, Air Force One has also been using the call sign SAM, right? If we look in our exchange here, SAM 909, huh? Air Force One likes to use the SAM call sign. Here's SAM 2600. And that's an old Boeing 757 or something. And SAM 2700. The Boeing VC-25A, this is the one we know as Air Force One. And of course, you see that there are two of them. That's why we go by registration number in Flight Radar instead of the call sign or the type of aircraft. So there you go, my friends. That's probably the best way to track Air Force One and Air Force Two in Flight Radar and the ADSB exchange. And as you can see, he's going from NA to NA. If I was the president or the vice president, I wouldn't tell you where I'm going either. Might be somebody hanging out there with a Stinger missile or something, right? So, no call sign, right? Notice in the ADS-B exchange, we do indeed have a call sign. So, lots of differences. The FlightRadar24 site looks better, but ADS-B exchange has a military button. Can't get easier than that for tracking military aircraft. Hey, hit the like button. Do me a solid, and I'll see you at the top.